So hello everyone, we are back again with our latest video on SQL Tutorial Ebikacho by Ebikacho Groups. And this is day 3 set 0.2 of 30 days SQL interview series. And this video is getting recorded on 1st May 2025. So without any delay, let's move on to the first question of this video. So here we will resolve the query based question first, and then after that we will move on to the theoretical part. So now let's move and check the first question of today's video. The first question is, write a query to fetch employees having the highest salary in each department. Okay, so the employee table we have already created on our database. So let's move on to SSMS and resolve each of the questions one by one. Okay, so here you can see, open our database, SQL interview database we have. Now open a new query window, paste this question here. First of all, we will check the data in the employees table, and then we will start executing each of them and resolving each of the question. So for that, select star from employees, and this table data set you can find on our Telegram channel, and the record also inserted into that you will also find on the Telegram channel. Okay, so go and check the Telegram channel. You can join using the description link or using the channel description link. Okay, so select start from employees. So employees table will have the ID, name, department, country, age, salary, and date of joining. Okay, now this particular question can be resolved in multiple ways. So currently we will use apply three ways, three methods we will apply here, and you will let us know other methods other than these if you know. Okay, so first method will be simple. We will use the maximum function and find out the output for this. So for that, like basic method, basic method. Now write the query for this. So the query for this will be like select department comma max salary from as highest salary, as highest as highest salary, as highest salary from employees table, from employees table. And then we need our record set on the on the basis of department. So we need to group our result by department. So group by department. Okay, now execute this, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question. And this is the basic method of applying this. Now here you can see CSHRIT have these as the highest salary. Okay, now check the another method. So now we will use one Windows function for finding out the highest salary in each department. So how to apply the Windows function? So Windows function row number we will apply here. So mark it as Windows function, DOWS, Windows function. Okay, now the query for this will be like select star and then from employees table. Okay, and now here we will write one row number. So row number is a Windows function. Okay, row number over, and Windows function is very important function in SQL, even in for interview perspective and also for working. While you are going to work in organization, then you are going to use row number function again and again, because these are very important function, and any task can be achieved using Windows function. Complex to complex query can be resolved using the Windows function. Okay, so now select star comma row number over, and then the partition we will do by department, because we need the result set by department. So partition by department, and then order by salary descending, salary in descending order. Why in descending order? Because we need the highest salary. If we need the lowest salary, then we will order by salary ascending. Okay, but here we need the salary in descending order because we need the highest salary. Now execute this, and this is the half of the query. Okay, first of all we will check what row number is doing. So you can see here the result is divided in department wise salary it is providing, department wise all the record it is providing, and the row number is providing ranks to each of them, like 1 2 3 it is providing row number, and it is ordered in salary descending order. Okay, so all the ranks which has one, we will need that particular record set. So for that we will use this query as a derived table. Now put an alias for this. So as rank, and all rank 1 we need, all the records from rank 1 we need, so make it as a derived table. So select star from and this query will act as a table. Okay, then mark as A, and here the condition will be where rank is equals to 1, and this is the final query that you will provide to the interviewer for this particular question, and applying the Windows function for the solution. Now execute this and check the solution. So here you can see we are getting all the highest salary department wise. So CS, HR, IT, we have these as the highest salary. Okay, now check the other method. So now here we will apply the subquery method, and for subquery, we if you need more details on subquery, then you can visit to our subquery video that will provide in this video description, and that video will contain everything about subqueries, means what are the types of subqueries, where to use the subqueries, and how we can customize our query using the subqueries, and how subqueries are useful to us. And subquery is also a very important concept in SQL, even for interview perspective also, and for working perspective also. So you must know all the things about subqueries. Now mark this as subquery method. Subquery method. Okay, the query for this will be like select star from employees table, and then in where clause we will provide the subquery. So where salary in, so multi-valued subquery it is. Okay, it will provide multi-value as output. So salary in select 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 max salary from employees table, and we need the maximum salary department wise. So group by department, DPT. And if any point you are not understanding in this video, then let us know in the comment section. We will make you understand that, or we will create a separate video if needed for that particular thing. Okay, and this is the final query you will provide to the interviewer for this particular question using the subquery method. Now execute this and check the solution for this. So here you can see we are getting the same record like Priya, Pooja, Adam as the highest salaries for each department, IT, HR, CS. Okay, this is clear. Now move on to the next question, as this question has taken a lot of time. Now the second question what we have. So we have the how to write a query to update the salary of all employees by 10%. So basically we need to update the salary of each employee by 10%. So before doing any update in SQL, even if you are going to do updates in your company, you must need to first check if your logic that you are updating that is correct or not. So first of all we will do the verification, and then we will proceed with the update statement. So how to do the verification? So apply select statement on the top of logic that you are going to use. So what will be the 10%? So 10% will be 0.1. Salary into 0.1 is the 10% of the salary. Okay, and now we need to increase each record, each salary by 10%. So salary plus salary into 0.1 is the final equation. So now we will check here if that is working fine or not. So select salary, and then first give the table name so that alias will work for us, means intelligence will work for us. Okay, so select salary from employees table. Okay, and now here we will write the equation that we are going to update. So 10% increase will be salary plus salary into 0.1 as increased salary, INCREASED, increased salary. Okay, now execute this and check the result first. So here you can see we are getting some decimal places here. So we will resolve this by using the cast function and cast this result into integer. So cast this salary plus salary into 0.1 as integer. Okay, now execute it again and check the result. So here you can see we are getting salary, and this is increased salary by 10%. So we need to update this salary to increased salary. Okay, now our logic is correct. Now we will write the update statement. So the update statement that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question is update table name set salary column equals to this particular equation, cast salary plus salary into 0.1 as integer. Okay, and we don't need to provide any where clause because we need to update all the employees record. So without any condition we will execute this, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer. Now execute this and 12 rows has been affected. Now we will check our employees table. Okay, so do a select star from employees and check the result. Select star from employees. Okay, execute this. So here you can see all our records are increased by 10% the salary. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have, next we have the third question. So how can you find employees whose salary is between 50,000 and 1 lakh? So this is a very simple question, and the solution for this will be like, we will use the between operator. Now we will check how to write the query for this in SSMS. So the query for this will be select star from employees table, where salary between 50,000 and 1 lakh. Okay, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question. And these are very basic question and generally asked with the people having experience level around 1 to 4 year or 5 years of experience they have. Okay, and these are means asked by the interviewer to check your basic knowledge on SQL, that you have applied between operator and you have written queries in your organization or not. So for that knowledge they will ask you. So here you can see all the employees we are getting whose salary is between 50,000 and 1 lakh. Okay, now this is clear. Move on to the next question. Okay, so next what we have, the fourth question. So how to find the youngest employee in the organization? So this is a very good question and this can be asked in your interview also. Okay, so be prepared for this. Now move on to SSMS and check the solution for this. So how to find the youngest employee in the organization? So we need to find out that employee who has the least age, minimum age. So for this there are many methods, but we will apply only subquery method here to find out the solution for this. And your task will be to let us know in the comment if you know other methods also for resolving this question or not, and what is your method. You can write the query also in the comment if it can means it can be written. Okay, so the final query for this will be like select star from employees, and again I'm telling, if you need more details on subqueries then you can check our subquery window that will be available in our video description, and if not then you can go to our channel and check that video. Okay, so select star from employees where age equals to, so this is a single valued subquery, so age will be equals to select minimum age. Okay, minimum age from employees table, okay, and what the subquery is returning, the subquery will return us the minimum age from the employees table, what it is 22, and now the outer query will provide us the detail of the employee who has the minimum age. Okay, now execute this command and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question. Now execute this, and so here you can get like Aman CS India has the minimum age which is 22 years. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next question what we have the fifth question. So how to fetch the first and last record from a table? So this is a very important question and many people will make mistake in this question, because this question is not that much tough but it's bit tricky. So here we need to find out the first and last record from the table. So it will be a two-part query. So first we will find out the first record and then we will find out the last record. So first record will be our employee ID 1 and last record will be the last employee ID. So for first employee ID what we will write, so select top 1 star from employees table, and then order by ID. So ID is ordered in ascending order. Okay, basically SQL is taking ascending as default and DESC we need to mention when we are ordering in descending order. Okay, so by default it's ascending, so this is fine. Now check this result. So it is providing the first result ID 1, and then we will check for the last record. So select top 1 star from employees where employees, then order by ID in descending order. So this will provide us the last record. Okay, execute this. So this is the last record, and now what we need to do, we need to combine both of the record. So for that what we will use union, but we cannot directly use union because with union we cannot provide the order by clause. Okay, so now try to apply union first, and union, now execute this and check what it is providing. So it is providing like incorrect syntax near union. So what we need to do, we need to make these queries as derived table, and then on top of that we need to put the union. So for making it as a derived table, what we need to do, so select star from this particular query, and this is our table A, and then union, here we will write select star from B. This query will be our table B. Okay, and this is the final query that you need to provide to the interviewer for this particular question. Now execute this and you will get your output. So here we are getting ID1 and ID12, first and last record. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have the sixth question. So from here the theoretical part is started, so we will increase our screen length so that it will be good for you and us also. So now move on to the sixth question. So sixth question, what it is telling, so how many cluster indexes there can be in one table? So basically the answer for this will be only one cluster index can be there in a one table, and the reason for this will be the cluster index will define the order of the table. So that is the reason we cannot make multiple cluster index and cannot define our table with multiple indexes, means multiple order we cannot define to a table. Okay, so that is the major reason why cluster index can only be one, because it is defining the order of the table. Okay, now move on to the next question. So seventh question, so how many non-cluster indexes there can be in one table? So how many non-cluster index there can be in one table? So the answer for this is, in SQL Server, a table can have up to 999 non-cluster indexes. This include indexes created by constants like primary key or unique key, but excludes specialized indexes like XML indexes. So the XML indexes are not included in this 999 non-cluster index. Okay, and the main point for this is like, in SQL Server 2005, a table can have 249 non-clustered indexes in addition to one clustered index, making a total of 250 indexes per table. The limit on the number of non-clustered indexes per table was increased from 249 to 999, starting with SQL Server 2008 version. So SQL Server 2008 version, and before the version of SQL Server 2008, there are only 249 non-cluster indexes are allowed, but after this 999 are allowed. And why it is allowed? So these changes allowed for greater flexibility in indexing large and complex table. Okay, so this is clear. So if someone will ask you from when we have the 999 non-cluster indexes, then you can answer like from SQL Server 2008 version we are using 999 non-cluster indexes on a table. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have, the eighth question. So what is a clustered table? Okay, so what is a clustered table, not the index? So in SQL, a clustered table is a table that has a clustered index. The index organizes the data rows in the table based on the values of the indexed columns, sorting and storing them in a specific order, as we have discussed. So because of this, the data rows themselves are stored in the order defined by the cluster index, making it easier to retrieve rows efficiently. Okay, this is clear. Now for this much you will answer to the interviewer for what is a cluster table, and the below points are for your own purpose, because each of the points are questions in itself, so you must know these points also. So the key points about cluster tables are data organization. So the rows are physically stored in the order of the cluster index key values, as we have discussed. Now the second point is like single cluster index. So a table can have only one cluster index because the rows can be sorted, can be stored in only one order. Okay, that we have mentioned before only, that the rows of a table can be stored in only single order. That is the reason we can have only single cluster index, because it is defining the order of the table. Okay, now the third point, performance benefits. So queries that use the cluster index key can retrieve data faster, as the index help locate rows directly. Okay, now the last point is fragmentation. So over time cluster tables can become fragmented due to insert, update and delete operations, which may require index maintenance. Okay, now move on to the next question. So next what we have the ninth question. So what are the disadvantages of indexes? So the answer for this is, and this is a very important question, because disadvantages of indexes people will generally ask in the interviews. And these are for all level of expertise, like from beginners to around 10 to 12 years of experience. Okay, now the answer for this is indexes in SQL Server are powerful tools for improving query performance, but they come with certain disadvantages. So the disadvantages are like below. Number one is increased storage requirements. So indexes consume additional disk space as they store data separately from the main table. This can be significant for large table with multiple indexes. Okay. Now the second point, slower data modification. So operations like insert, update and delete can become slower because the database need to update the indexes along with the table data. Okay. Now the third point, maintenance overhead. So indexes require regular maintenance to avoid fragmentation, which can degrade performance over time. This includes rebuilding and reorganizing indexes. So basically for removing the index fragmentation, we need to rebuild or reorganize the index. Okay. Now the fourth point is risk of over indexing. So creating too many indexes can lead to performance issues as the database spends more time managing them than executing queries. Okay, so more indexes are also very bad for performance. Okay, now the fifth point, deadlocks. So in some cases indexes can increase the likelihood of deadlocks due to conflicting access paths during query execution. Okay, now the sixth point, compilation overhead. So excessive indexes can add to the compilation time for queries, especially if the optimizer has to evaluate multiple access paths. Okay, now move on to the next question, and this is the last question. So how many columns can we include in non-clustered index? Okay, so basically this is asking like how many key columns we can include in the non-clustered index. Okay, so the answer for this is in SQL Server, a non-clustered index can include up to 32 columns as key columns. However, the total size of the index key cannot exceed 1700 bytes for non-clustered indexes on disk-based tables. So basically, either we can provide 32 columns as maximum, or we can provide 1700 bytes of space of columns. So on pro rata basis, the SQL will execute this. So one of them, if any of the condition is satisfied, then that much only column we can provide to the non-cluster index. Either you can provide 32 columns which have size less than the 1700 bytes, or you can provide means the size of 1700 bytes of non-cluster indexes. Okay, now the last point, additionally we can include non-key columns in the index using the include clause, and these columns do not count towards the 1700 byte limit. Okay, so basically by using the include count, we can include non-key columns also in the indexes, and that will not be counted for that 1700 byte limit. Okay, so this allows us to optimize queries by covering more columns without exceeding the key size restriction. Okay, so that is end of this particular set, and thank you for watching. To like, share and subscribe to our channel. Many more videos are on the way. And as we have discussed previously, if you need data sets and scripts of the tables that we are using in the query in the video, then you can visit to our Telegram channel, join our Telegram channel from this link, or you will find the link on our video description and also on our channel description. And once we achieve the milestone of 500 subscriber, as we have mentioned in our videos previously also, that we are going to launch a master series on SQL that will contain everything about relational databases and SQL, and that will be a zero to hero course, beginner to advanced level course, and that will contain each and every part of SQL. Okay, and you don't need to go anywhere after studying that, and you can crack any of the job related to SQL from that particular series. So thank you for watching. Keep supporting, keep liking, keep sharing and keep subscribing our channel. Thank you everyone.